the Andy Dalton and Marvin Lewis era. The Andy Dalton era began when I was like 10, 11. Again, I was a casual then. I'm still pretty much an in-between casual, So tell me what it was like being a diehard Bengals fan during that era.
Man, my AJ Green level was just, all right. Now my Ocho, so just so you know, I'm like in my early 30s, right? So,
Okay.
so 89. When the Bengals lost that last Super Bowl, I wasn't even born. So I'm not
Word.
that old, but I'm not young.
Right.
It's like I'm in between. That's why I think all the trap music and stuff that I like kind of mixes with, like I still like Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? So it's like these two
Yeah.
worlds. So I became a huge, huge fan of Ocho Cinco. And but AJ Green is my favorite player of all time. So um I don't know like when it got higher and higher, but I don't know if you knew this on Instagram is how I got big, not
Mm-hmm.
Twitter. I just got on Twitter like 2 years ago for real. I
Yeah.
made that account a long time ago, but I never went on. But
Yeah.
on
I know too
Instagram,
much.
this is how I went. So we were going on Instagram, we was going hard on Dalton, bro, for like 5, 6 years. Like after that Super Bowl, I hated him. The only year I'm gonna tell you a year that people don't really pay attention to, I think it's 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, to me, was his best year because he
Wow.
didn't have that many weapons. People was hurt, and he was like in the red zone. He was lights out, bro. Like he was on fire.
Was that
I
the
always
year Tyler Eifert like ankle kind of snapped
know, bro. At the
against the
beginning of the
Falcons?
season,
Yeah, against the Falcons, and we had that game
I
winning
think so.
drive with AJ.
I think so, bro. I know in that season, this is Bill. You remember Bill Lazor? You ever remember that name? That was the
That
offensive
sounds very
coordinator.
familiar. That
He
sounds
went
very
on, I think, to the Dolphins or something like that. But whatever they was doing in the red zone, they was cooking, bro.
familiar.
So this is before T. This is before whatever. This is like year what 1 or 2 Boyd, and then they got Mixon. Mixon come off his rookie year 2018. So they were very efficient. AJ Green was hurt, so like he didn't have that much, and he was still cooking though. He was
Right.
doing pretty well. But anytime it was a primetime game, anytime it was like a major point, he always failed, and I was quick to pick up on it. If you go
Mm-hmm.
look at his playoff numbers, bro, 6 interceptions, 1 touchdown. So anybody that's ever talked trash to the Bengals to me, I always be like, bro, like them rosters that we had was lit.
Yeah.
Dalton is the reason why people would been able to talk trash to us for like the last 10 years. It's like we got winning records against all these teams, but
Mm-hmm.
then the playoffs didn't go no further. And
Yeah.
anytime it's a primetime game, we got our ass whooped. So I hated that part of it. And a big part of like AJ Green to me, had he been paired up with like a Joe Burrow or something like that, bro, everybody would be looking at him like he's Julio or something.
Right.
And life
Right.
is
Right.
about
Right.
circumstances. I be telling people that online, they be like, if my quarterback if we had Joe Burrow, I'm like, but you don't. Like I could sit back and go look at AJ Green and be like, bro, if I had Aaron Rodgers for AJ Green, he'd be the
Yeah.
greatest wide receiver of all time. But that's not the way life works. So
Yeah.
that was the thing. Like I feel like I was turning up though. I developed something on Instagram called the Harry Nuts game where we just started taking chances and not giving a fuck and just start going hard and
Mm-hmm.
like challenging people, backing it up with stats, just start cooking people online and shit like that. And it just
Yeah.
built up. And part of that Andy Dalton thing, I hated him. I was going in on him, bro. Like
Oh,
I,
that
I
was my
always went on.
guy, man. He
I
was my
hated him.
guy. Even
Hated him.
how was the 2015 season for you then? Where he
I look at it and I always be like, I think Dalton wished that I know he was happy he got hurt, bro. I don't think he wanted. He didn't want no smoke with none of that. He don't like that
What?
type of stuff, bro. He's not
What?
built like that.
Ah,
He throws a good football. He's efficient. He's a nice guy. He'll go to church. He'll do all these great things. I feel like he's a good person, but he's not a good communicator. None of the people
mhm.
really hung out with him on the team. Uh, People liked him because he was a good guy. He couldn't motivate anybody to ball out and play above their level. Like you ever seen the huddles and stuff that they like 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like nobody, he motivated nobody. So everything in 2015 is like mid level. Like all them dudes on that team, they still in the league. Sanu, Marvin Jones, all them dudes, they still playing.
Word.
That's how good they were back then, bro. Like Marvin Jones would have been looked at like how they look at like I don't know, like maybe like Tyler Lockett or somebody like that,
Mm,
but he just didn't have like this elite quarterback to throw to him. So I always be thinking about that. Like, I wish I would have, could have, but it kind of like made it so I could see, like, when I see a mid quarterback like Mitch Trubisky or something, I'd be like, oh, we got a Dalton. So you're just gonna be stuck right there, and you can't get out of it because you need to lose games to go get you a top tier draft pick, whether it's on defense or offense. And if you're mid, that's worse than being the worst team in the NFL. I'd rather be the worst team than be a mid-level team because Ryan Tannehill's of the world, like, you're just gonna be mid for like damn near a decade, and then you're gonna be looking up like, damn, I just wasted all that time. And I feel like that about Dalton, bro. Like, he was never gonna get you where you want to go. Look at Baker Mayfield in the playoffs. He actually cooked when it was time to cook in that game, and he won the game against the Steelers in his first playoff game. Dalton never did that. Dalton was favored in all them games, bro. All them 4 games, he was always favored. The other game, like I said, where whatchamacallit comes in, where what's your boy? God, bro from Alabama.
AJ McCarron.
Yeah, AJ McCarron comes in and plays a like not even a good game. Like, he just comes back and he a gamer. But that was a mid game. You didn't even have to be that good on that team to win a first round playoff game. And AJ McCarron almost won that game just on the strength of.
How you think he would have did in that game? I know you say he would. He
Dalton would have won that game.
He would have won that game. I got you. But bro,
you didn't have to. You didn't have to do nothing. Like, no, we were that much better than them. The Steelers had no business being in the playoffs that game. The Steelers, if you really want to go back, 2005 is the best team that I've ever been watching the Bengals.